One issue that could differ in the last 10 years is the role of organizations and of larger groups. Back in 1999, you had hero companies, the dot-com companies were often discussed. Many of them failed. And there was also much of a discussion on how new institutions were to be born. Today we are in the credit crunch, and we are at difficulty to see new organizations, new form of societies coming up. Is it simply that everything that was discussed in 1999 has failed because of a lack of credit, or are we seeing new forms of organizations, of corporations taking form?
The dot-com crash was not a failure of computer and software companies. It was a failure of various business models. And actually, quite a lot of companies founded before the dot-com crash, like Amazon.com, went on to become extremely powerful and rich. Similarly, the credit crunch is not a failure of organizational models that were developed in 1999. It was a failure of particular kinds of market, particular institutions, and particular choices they have made. So, for example, one idea is the creator of Lightweight ad hoc company. That was around in 1999. It has become so easy these days that actually people don't really notice them. And so far, very few of them have become so noticeable that people actually regard them as important movers and shakers. But of course, in the creative economy, a lot of these small collectives, online network collaborations, are actually quite vital. It's notable that 1999 was actually the first year a science fiction novel ever mentioned open source software. Although quite a lot of science fiction authors were involved in developing free and open source software, they actually didn't mention it in their stories. Since then, we had the big ideological and also economical struggle for making open source software a viable alternative. And that is doing very well. But the kind of institutions set up to develop open source software are actually quite different from what people envisioned in 1999. Although there are still a lot of these informal networks which have no sponsorship whatsoever and very low threshold entry, a lot of high-quality products are actually produced with the help of other corporations within the market who see a benefit in supporting open source software. So what we're seeing is really that we get a lot of the kind of synergies and symbiosis between different kinds of organizations. In 1999, we had the thinking that, there had to be particular kinds of organizations that are going to supplant the current one. Today, instead, we're seeing something like lesions, a combination of fungi and algae working together. So yes, you might have a completely commercial software company developing also open source software, working together with users that form informal networks. And some of these networks actually branch off and become suppliers to the company or suppliers of services to other customers.
It's not a revolution, it's hacking.
I would say it's not even hacking because it's not deliberate. It's more of an evolution. Rather, the hacking is always going on there. It's just that so far we haven't been very good at channeling it into making companies profitable or efficient. It's pretty hard to hack together an organization. It takes a lot of trial and error. So that's why I think evolution works best.